What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream from Scalar Learning. And it looks like we are, got some fire trucks going on nearby, so it's a little loud. But anyways, today we're back for another Wednesday live stream, or weekly live stream, where on Wednesdays we deal with the ISEE. So again, if you're unfamiliar with the ISEE, if you're unfamiliar with the ISEE, it is the Independent School Entrance Exam, ISEE. And we're doing the middle level. Middle level is a test that I primarily teach and tutor for, and it's for applying to 7th and 8th grade in a lot of states and cities. It's primarily pretty big with the private schools in Los Angeles, and I know it's very big in New York as well and other schools around the country. So anyways, I'm trying to get you guys ready for this test because it's a very difficult test, and in fact, I often consider the ISEE pound for pound, the ISEE middle in particular, pound for pound, probably the toughest of any standardized test because of the age in which it's given. We have a lot of 6th graders that take it early on in 6th grade, and then you have 7th graders that are also taking it to apply to 8th grade. So the 6th graders in particular, I feel it's quite a difficult test for them. And the math is advanced. A lot of the math has not been taught in school. It's pretty advanced pre-algebra. So what we're going to be doing is going through, now I've already gone through the official practice tests in previous live streams this week. Now we're going to be going through practice material from ISEEpracticetest.com. To me, this is the best resource for practice problems for the ISEE, and that's why I want to go through and solve all their practice tests. They have 6, which are great, and then they also have an entire huge, massive library of practice problems that I'm going to be going through each week and solving them piece by piece, so you can have a good understanding of how to approach all of these problems. Now, in addition, if you look in the link below, I have a link to my course, which is a full-on video course, which also has around 700 practice problems, which are also excellent, that you can check out as well, where I already have existing video explanations, but now I'm going to be providing video explanations to this awesome resource. I love what these guys do and what they've created, and I think they've created a nice module which represents what the actual ISEE will look like if you take it on a computer at a Prometric Center, which I also recommend, and I can talk about that at another time. So today we're going to do the quantitative reasoning section from practice test 1, and let's click this. No, they want us to do this. Hold on, let's see if I can skip this. Okay, we'll just say 7th. Next. Let's just say da-da. Sure, Stone Ridge. This one, just making stuff up. Let's pretend we're taking it in October 17th. Done. All right, here we go. So when you log on to, this is Test Innovators, is the maker of ISEEpracticetest.com. When you come here, you can see you have an option for paper or computer. And of course, which I recommend taking the online here and for the actual test. And there's a lot of reasons why I believe that. It's not a perfect fit for everybody. If you really like the written, I'd say take it. But so we're going to go to online. And now what we have here is we have 35 minutes to complete, I believe it's 37 questions for the quantitative reasoning. So that's standard. And we're just going to go through it. Now, if you haven't seen my live streams before, I'm taking this under time conditions, and we're just blazing through it in real time. Now, this is a no calculator test, by the way. So we're doing this all without a calculator, and let's do it. Here we go. Ready, set, begin. Okay. Tom gets paid $8 an hour at his part-time job. How much money does he make if he works 5 hours? So he's working 5 hours for 3 weeks. Okay. 5 hours a week for 3 weeks. Look what I'm doing. I'm literally just saying he makes $8 an hour times 5. That's per each week. So this quantity will be how much he makes in a week times 3 because of 3 weeks. So 40 times 3 equals 120. Okay. Whoops. Next. Chad has 55 cents in nickels and dimes. He has a total of 7 coins. How many of each coin does he have? So we can do some little experimentation. We can say nickels, dimes, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this would be 5, 4, 3, 2. You see how these always add up to 7. So he have 55 cents. So in this case, he has 50 plus 2 is 60 cents. That's wrong. We have 40 plus 3. This is 40 cents. This is 15 cents, right? 3 times 5 cents. So it's 15 and 40, and there we go. That's 55 cents. We found our answer. He's got 3 nickels and 4 dimes. Done. Numbers increase in the pattern below. What is the 5th number in this sequence? Okay, so let's see if we can identify it. It's going from 2 to 3 to 5 to 8 to blank to 17. To me, it looks like it's going up by 1, then up by 2, up by 3, probably up by 4, and then up by 5. And let's see if that makes sense. Up by 4 is 12. 5 up from 12 is 17. So it fits the pattern. So we are going with 12. So this is a little sequence problem. Next, rectangle A. As soon as I see, guys, as soon as you see the word rectangle, draw out a rectangle. We have a rectangle measures 25 by 10. We have another rectangle. This is A. Another rectangle that measures 15 by 5. What is the difference in perimeter of A and B? So the perimeter of this guy, we just add up all the sides, 50, 60, 70. The perimeter of this guy is 20 plus 20 is 40. The difference between 70 and 40 is 30. The graph shows the pounds of tomatoes picked each day for 4 days. Okay. According to the graph, what is the mean number of pounds of tomatoes picked? Okay, look. There's 4 days that they picked tomatoes, and we want the mean, the average. So basically, we're going to look here, and on Monday they picked 3 pounds. On Tuesday they picked 6.5. On Wednesday they picked 4.5. And on Thursday they picked 4 pounds. And we want to know the average over these 4 days. So let's add these up. 6.5 plus 4.5 is 10. 11 plus 3 is 14. Right? And then plus another 4 is 18. So it's 18 over 4, which is, we can do the long division, but it's 4.5. So 4.5 pounds is the mean per day. Right? It said mean. Yeah. Okay. I should have said per day, but that's okay. Next, 6. If 2d minus 3 equals 5, and 3e plus 1 equals 7. What is the value of d minus e? Let's solve. What is d? Let's add 3 to both sides, and we get 2d equals 8. Divide by 2, right? Variable isolation, and we get d equals 4. What about this? Let's subtract 1, subtract 1. Variable isolation, 3e equals 6. Divide both sides by 3, and I got e equals 2. So what is d minus e? That's 4 minus 2, which is 2. Next. I'm going to look at our time right now. We got 30 minutes left, 31 minutes left. Okay, doing pretty good. So again, we want to pace ourselves about a minute per question. For 120 days, Adam recorded the number of days he cooked dinner at home. On the days when he did not cook at home, he ate at restaurants. If Adam cooked at home 80% of the days, on how many days did he eat dinner at a restaurant? Which means I'm representing 80% as a decimal, which we need to do. That means he ate at a restaurant 20% of the time. Okay, so we need to take 20% of 120, right? We don't even need this 0. So 0.2 is 0, 4, 2, and then add 1 decimal. Boom, because of this 1 number to the right of the decimal, because I got rid of the 0. And our answer is 24. And that kind of makes sense, right? 20% of 120 sounds about like 24. Next, the area of the shaded region is 12 inches squared. What is the area of the largest triangle? So let's think about this. This is 12, right? All these 3 things. So that means each one is 4, okay? 4, 4, 4. So how many squares do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 times, each one has an area of 4, plus these triangles. It doesn't give us the area of the triangles, but since these are squares, I can assume that these are half of each of these. So this one's 2, 2, 2, 2. So plus 4 times 2. This is 24 plus 8, which is 32 inches squared. And that makes kind of sense, right? That's about 3 times what this is, and that looks about right to me. Next. What are the answer choices? Less than negative 13.33, but greater than negative 14.7. So if we look at a number line, here's negative 13.33. Here's negative 14.7. So I'm thinking like something in here would be like negative 14, negative 14.5, negative 13.4, all numbers in this range. So I'm thinking it's negative 15 would be out here. It's this guy, negative 13.35, because it's just a little bit to the left on this number line of that one. Okay, so it's in between these two. Anything else, these ones would be over here and here. So that one, next. What is the perimeter of the rectangle with dimensions 3 feet, 2 inches, 3 feet, 2 inches, 5 feet, 4 inches. Okay, so 3 feet, 2 inches, 5 feet, 4 inches. So we just got to add everything up. I'm going to add the feet, and then I'm going to add the inches to each other. So 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 is 10 plus 6 is 16 feet. And inches is 2 plus 4 is 6. Plus 2 is 8 plus 4 is 12 inches. But that 12 inches is 1 foot. So it's really just 17 feet. Question 11. There are X people in a group. 12 members of the group are in math. 8 members of the group are in physics. And 4 members are in both, okay? What is X? What's the total? All right, this is a little bit trickier, all right? So this means, this is almost like one of these guys, okay? So we got 4 in both. Okay, now this is math, this is physics. 4 in both, and we got 8 total in physics. So if I already got 4 in this pocket, that means there's an additional 4 out here that just take physics. If I got 4 in here, I got a total of 12, so I know only 8 are out here taking just math. And now we just add these numbers up. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 4 is 16. That's the total amount of people in this whole thing, right? And this means with this 8, with this 16, which seems weird, right? You might think it should be 20, but now we've got 8 just taking math, 4 just taking physics, and 4 taking both, which make a 12 math and an 8 physics, so 16. Next, a fitness class had twice as many participants on Monday as Tuesday. So twice as many on Monday as Tuesday. So Monday equals 2 times Tuesday. On Wednesday, there were 4 more participants than Monday. So 4 more than Monday. See how I immediately translate it to equations? If the class had a total of 64 participants on 3 days, how many attended on Monday? So check it out. Here's how we can do this. I've got M in all of these, so I can get everything in terms of M. So even T, if I just do a little isolation, okay, T equals M over 2, right? Twice as many on Monday as Tuesday, yeah. So that's right. So T equals Monday divided by 2. So of all 3, we can say Monday plus the amount on Tuesday plus the amount on Wednesday equals 64. But I know that Tuesday equals a little substitution equals M divided by 2. Wednesday equals M plus 4 equals 64. Now I can solve for this. First, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And then I've got M. I'm going to get this all under, actually, let's make this 2M over 2, 2M over 2, just so we have common denominators. See how I multiply the top and bottom by 2. So now I've got 2M plus over 2 plus M over 2 plus 2M over 2 is 5M over 2 equals 60. Multiply both sides by 2, right? To keep isolating M, 5M equals 120. And then divide both sides by 5. And Monday equals 24. You can do the long division, but I know Monday equals 24, and that's our answer. Next, little system of equations there. Which number is closest to the square root of 160? Check it out. In this case, how we figure this out is we test out some square roots. 11 squared is 121. So square root of 160 is bigger than this. 12 squared is 144. 13 squared is 169. Good idea to have these memorized. Now, we're asking, so the square root of 144 is 12. Square root of 169 is 13. Square root of 160 is somewhere in between here. But which one is it closer to? 169 or 144? It's closer to this. It's only 9 away. So it's closest to 13. Next, 14. The rectangular prism is made up of smaller equal cubes. The volume of one cube is 6 cubic inches. What is the volume of the rectangular prism? Well, how many cubes are there? We got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's in this like first little slice. So there's 10 in this slice. And how many slices are there? There's 1, 2, 3. So it's like 3 times 10, which is 30. If you're also unsure about how I did that, you can just do a volume calculation. 5 by 3 by 2. So 5 times 3 is 15 times a height of 2 is 30. So we've got 30 cubes, and each one of those cubes has a volume of 6 inches. So we multiply 30 times 6, and we get 180 cubic inches. Next, Evan has taken 9 quizzes in his English class. Sorry, Ewan. His average score on 9 quizzes is 5 points. If Ewan scores 0 on his next, what will be his average quiz score? Okay, so check it out. He's taken 9 quizzes. So he's taken a total of X. Remember, average is total on top of number of tests or whatever in this case equals mean. So this is like my total. So in this case, we don't know the total, but we know the number of quizzes is 9 and we know the mean is 5. So to find this total, we can now multiply both sides by 9 and say, oh, the total quizzes added up to 45, okay? So now we say he's got a total of 45, and we use the same formula of total over number equals mean, number of like quizzes. Now he's got 45, a total of 45 plus 0 on the next quiz. And what was his new average? Well, now we've taken 10 quizzes because instead of 9 equals X. We're trying to figure out that new mean. 45 plus 0 is just 45 divided by 10 equals X. And any number divided by 10, we just move the decimal 1 spot to the left. And it's 4.5 equals X. 16. A taxi company charges an entry fee and $2.50 per mile traveled. The company also charges $1 per additional passenger. The table shows the total cost of 4 cab rides, including the entry fee. What does the taxi cab charge for the entry fee? So check it out. We travel $2.50. So we've got an equation where it's like $2.50 times miles traveled. And this, I'm just going to use this first one. We only need to use the first one. $2.50 per miles traveled plus number of passengers times $1. But remember, charges $1 per additional passenger after the first passenger. So if we have 4 passengers, we're really only being charged for 3. That's a tricky detail you got to watch out for. Times 1. Plus the entry fee, which is my X, and this total equals this total down here, $25.50. See how I'm just setting up a nice simple equation that then I can solve for X. And that's what a lot of this test is. So now we can multiply it out, but if you can do it in your head, it's 8 times 2 is 16 plus half of 8, right? 50.5 times 8 is 4. So 16 plus 4 is 20 plus 3 plus X equals 25.5. 23 plus X equals 25.5. Subtract 23 from both sides. Whoops. X equals $2.50. So that's the entry fee. A bag contains 3 green marbles, 5 red marbles. Oops, 3 green, 5 red, and 4 blue. Okay. A marble is randomly selected from the bag. The color is noted and then placed back into the bag. Okay. If this process is completed twice, now it's very important that you recognize it's replaced. It's going back into the bag, which means our total is never going to change. What is the probability that both marbles selected are blue? So the first time through, probability is the number of ways to win over the total. So the ways to win are, we're trying to get blue. How many ways are there to get a blue marble? 4, because there's 4 blue marbles. How many total marbles are there? 3, 5, 4, which is 12. That's the probability the first time. And then we find the probability the second time. But since we're replacing the marble, we have the same total. So it's still 4 out of 12. And then we want joint probability. What's the probability that both of these events will occur? We get the individual probabilities and we multiply them. But first, I'm going to simplify this like a fraction to 1/3. And then it's 1/3 times 1/3. 1 times 1 is 1. That's how we multiply fractions. 3 times 3 is 9. And we're done. Okay, and look at our time, 20 minutes, and we're about halfway done, so that's all right. Not actually great, because the problems are going to get tougher, but it's okay. The balance in a bank account has increased by 150% to 1,200. What was the balance in the bank account before the increase? Which means that we have a bank account, solve it algebraically. We have a bank account of X, and it's being increased. Doesn't mean we're multiplying this by 1.5. It's being increased by 150% of what was originally there. And that increase now leads it to have 1,200, okay? So now we just solve this equation. So it's the original amount plus the 150 increase of the original amount equals 1,200. This is 1x plus 1.5x is 2.5x equals 1,200. Divide both sides by 2.5. And we get, let's see, I think it's 800. I'm doing it mentally. But 800 times, no, that can't be right. Sorry. 5. Actually, let me do it. 1,200 divided by 2.5 is, let's make it this here and do the long division. 25 goes into 124 times 208 times 200, 0, and then 0 times. So 480. That was the original amount, bank balance. So then for it basically to go up by, it increased. Wait, hold on a second. Right? And then you take 150% of that, which is 480 plus 240. Just double checking the math really quickly. 217, 720. Yep, there we go. So it's 480. Okay, next. Now we got if j is a factor of 8 and k is a factor of 12, what is the least number which must be divisible by both j and k? Okay, check it out. First, we have to do a prime factorization tree. Oops, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. And we realize that 8 is just 2 cubed. Okay, and what about 12? It's 2 squared times 3. So look, these guys both have 2 squared in common. Okay, so if we know that, oh, sorry, this is a factor. Okay, so j can either be 2 or 3. That's it, right? No, actually, sorry. It doesn't necessarily have to be a prime factor. J could be 2, 4, or 8. K could be 2, 4, 6, or 12. 2, 4, 6, 12. So those are factors of 12. So which must be divisible by both j and k? 4 is out because it's not divisible by 6 or 3. I forgot 3 here too. Okay. 16 is definitely out, not divisible by 3. 24 might work because it's divisible by 2, 4, 8. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. I think it's 24. Right? And then it's 4 times 6. Yeah, it's 24. It's 24. Okay, excellent. Next. Oh, wait, hold on. J is a factor of 8. The only thing is, yeah, it's right. Okay, next. Number 20, the 6 numbers in a set have a mean of 10. Which of those, so 6 numbers, so we have these set, 6 numbers have a mean of 10. There's my formula. Remember, total plus divided by the number of terms equals the mean. Which of the numbers in the asterisk were added to the set would cause the mean of the new set to be twice as large as the mean of the original set? So right now, look, if I multiply both sides by 6, the total number equals 60. So now we say 60 plus what? I'll call it y. Now we're talking about 7 terms. Would cause the mean of the new set to be twice as large, meaning equal 20. Now we solve for y. Multiply both sides by 7. Basic variable isolation. 60 plus y equals 140. Subtract 60, and y equals 80. So if we added 80 to the mix, we would double the mean. 21. The figure below is a regular hexagon. Okay, area of the shaded regular hexagon means these are all equal sides. Area of unshaded portion, they're equal. So this is where we say for quantitative comparisons, if we say both of these columns are equal, we just say C. Next. 25% of 700, 50% of 400. Let's do this on the quicker side. 50% of 400, that's half of 400, which is just 200. That's pretty basic. And then 0.25 times 700, we can actually multiply it out. 0, 0, 35. 0, 0, 14. 0, 0, 5, 7, 1. Move 2 decimal spots over. Boom. 175. Therefore, B is bigger. So I choose B. Next, we got a mode of 2, 5. The mode of, oh, these numbers, 2, 5, 2, 7. Again, mode is the one that occurs most frequently. So in this case, my mode is 2 because I have 2 of them. Here's 5. B is bigger. 5 is bigger than 2, right? Next, we need to solve for x and y. So look, variable isolation. So 5x plus 9 equals 29. Solve for x. 5x equals 20. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. X equals 4. So column A, oh sorry, that's column B is 4. Column A, 1/2 y plus 1 equals 5. Subtract 1, we're isolating, right? Moving things around. 1/2 y equals 4. Multiply both sides by 2. We're doing we're multiplying both sides by the reciprocal, which is 2, or 2 over 1. That cancels out. Y equals 4 times 2 is 8. So column A is bigger. To walk to the bus stop, Carl can walk 2,100 feet in 6 minutes. Or he can walk 1,600 feet for 8 minutes. Speed Carl walks on the sidewalk in feet per minute. So on the sidewalk is 2,100 per minute is divisible by 6. And this equals, let's see, 350 if I'm doing it mentally, because 6 times 300 is 1,800, 50 is 300, so it's 350. So A is 350 feet per minute. B is through the woods per minute. So you can walk 160 for a day. That's definitely way less. That's 200. B is 200. So A is definitely bigger. Next, we've got column A, straightforward, 25. What about column B? This is a little PEMDAS. So we do parentheses first, which is 11 plus 3 times 4. Don't forget, PEMDAS says we got to do multiplication first. That's 12 plus 11, which is 23. So A is definitely bigger. Let's see my time. Oh, boy. Okay, see, I'm cutting it close. I got to keep going. We got 11 minutes and 11 questions. All right, probability of randomly selecting a Monday or Tuesday. Selecting a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Okay. 2, 4, 6 out of 18. So this one is 6 out of 18. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. 6 out of a total of 7, 14, 18 days. Probably selecting a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Thursday. 6, again, out of 18. So it's the same. Same probability, 6 out of 18. Next, lines A and B are parallel. The equation for line B is that one. Okay, so they're parallel, meaning they have the same slope. The slope of line B is 5 because in slope-intercept form, whatever is in front of the x is the slope. And this is slope-intercept form where y is isolated. So that means that has a slope of 5. Well, this is parallel to that same slope, so 5, so 7 is bigger, so column B. Next, this one. In the diagram above, all angles appear to be right angles are right angles. The distance traveled from point A to point B through X. Okay, so we're going 7 plus 6, right? Plus 4. Plus 6 plus 4. Okay, because I know that even though he's dipping down, the still total distance is 4. Okay, because of it's 4. And then what's this little amount? We actually don't know. It doesn't tell us. So that's the mystery there. Oh, wait. Yeah, we do. Sorry, 4, 6, and that's 1. Okay, because if this is 4 and this is 2, that's 6 minus 7, the total, so that's 1. So column A is 11 is 18. Now what about B? The distance traveled from point A to point B through Y. Yeah, that's this way. So 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2. 10, 14, 16. And that makes sense because here we're going up and then back down. Here we're just going straight up. So B is less, so A is bigger. Next. Jenna has $9 in nickels and quarters. She has 5 times as many. Okay, so she has, if I have my nickels and quarters. Okay, actually, sorry, let's do it like this. She has $9 in nickels and quarters. So I'm going to say each nickel is worth 5 cents. Each quarter is worth 25 cents. And the total is not $9, but 900 cents. I'm keeping everything in cents. And then we also know that she has 5 times as many nickels as she has quarters. So 5 times as many nickels, meaning 5 times a quarters equals the number of nickels. Let's substitute in 5Q for N, since we know N equals 5Q, and let's solve for Q. So 5 times 5Q plus 25Q equals 900. This is 25Q plus 25Q equals 900. That's 50Q equals 900. Divide both sides by 50. That's like 90 divided by 5, which is 18. So the number of quarters is 18. Column B is 16. A is bigger. And if I had more time, I would double check and plug these numbers back in. Actually, I guess I can. So 18 quarters is times 0.25. 5, 9, 0, 16, 2, and 3. So she has $4.50 from 18 quarters. And then she must have 18 quarters and then 72 nickels, which is $3.60. Oops, wait a minute. That doesn't add up. 440. That doesn't add up to 9, right? 72, 35, 36, 18. Oh, sorry, 5 times. That's not 70, that's 4 times. 5 times that is 90 nickels, yeah, which is $4.50, so it works. 450 plus 450 is 9. Next. The original population of a neighborhood was 200, okay? So column A, so after a 30% increase, what's 30% of 200? It's like 0.3 times 200, which is 60. So a 30% increase, it's 260. The population after a 50% increase, so 50% of 200 is 100, so it goes up to 300, followed by a 20% decrease, where we take 20% of this, which is 60, move the decimal over 1. So 300 minus 60 is 240. So you see, because we take 20% of the new population, so B is smaller, A is bigger. Okay, next. All right, little absolute value. So for column A, we apply the absolute value to these before we evaluate. So it's really 2 times positive 7 minus 2 times positive 4, which is 28 minus 8, which is 20. That's A. Column B, negative 7 minus 4 is negative 11. Then absolute value of negative 11 is 11. Times 2 is 22, so B is bigger. A is an integer. This is meaningless, okay? This is D, because if A is negative 1, here's how I'll show you why it could be either. I can choose anything for A. I can choose negative 1 for A. Sorry, let's choose negative 2, sorry. Negative 2 is an integer, so that A would be negative 2. Negative 2 cubed is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which is negative 8. In this case, A is bigger. But then I can choose 0 for both, right? 0 and 0 cubed are the same, so then it'd be C. So already I can choose 2 scenarios where we get 2 different answers, meaning there's not enough information to give a real answer. That's how you choose D. Not when you're like, I'm kind of confused. It's where you can get a scenario where A is right and where B is right or C is right. Like 2 or more are correct. Okay, next, this guy. So we do square root. This is an order of operations problem. So here we do the parentheses first, which is 6. 6 squared is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. Here we do order of operations. So this becomes 5 plus 1 is square root of 6 squared, but the square root of 6 squared, these guys nullify each other and it just becomes 6, so they're actually equal. Okay, we got 3 questions left in 4.5 minutes. To estimate how many girls and boys are in each grade, a small sample of each group was surveyed. The percent of each grade surveyed, number of girls and boys was shown below. The result from this table can be used to estimate how many total boys and girls are in each grade. Okay, estimated total number of girls in grade 7. So look, we've got 16 girls and 7 boys. So 16, but only 40% is surveyed. So 16 out of my total. Basically the 16 is doubled, another 40%, and then another 20%, which is half of this, which is 8. I'm trying to do it a little bit more quickly. So it's 32 plus 8. So in column A, in grade 7, there should be 40 girls. Okay. In column B, they've surveyed already 60%. Okay. So 60% of the, here, now I'll set it up this way with the different equation. They're saying 60% of the total number of girls, which is X, equals 18. So to get the total amount, we just got to solve for X, right? I said X is the total number of girls, divide both sides by 0.6, divide by 0.6. This is like 18 divided by 6, which is 3, but then it's 0.6, so we move the decimal 1 spot over, and it's 30. So A is bigger, it's 40 girls versus B, 30. Next, we have 2 questions left. Okay, area. So we got Y and we got X. No idea what's going on here. We just have a total area of 20 inches squared. X and Y could be anything. We can't tell which one's bigger, which one's smaller. We just know that when they multiply together, they must equal 40 because area is half of that, right? So this could be 10 and 4, 8 and 5, 5 and 8. It does, so we have no idea. Definitely not enough information. We don't even know if it's a right triangle. Okay, 37. Okay, classic slope questions. This is our last problem, and we'll end on this. So to calculate the slope between 2 coordinates, the process is you always stack the coordinates like so. Okay, and then we subtract down. And slope is rise over run, meaning difference of the y's over the difference of the x's. So here are my y's and here are my x's. So 5 minus 2 over 6 minus 3, which equals 3 over 3, which is a slope of 1. Okay, what about B? B is a equation which we need to get it into slope-intercept form, and once we do, we can evaluate the slope. So I'll show you how to do that. We just got to isolate. We just got to isolate y. So I'm going to say negative 3x equals 3 minus 3y. I'm going to add 3y to both sides just because I want it to be positive. So I'm going to say 3y minus 3x equals 3. Then I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Okay, and I got 3y. I'm going to put the 3x first to keep it consistent with slope-intercept form, which is this, where my m value is my slope. I'm going to divide everything by 3 to further isolate y. And I got y equals 1x, or just x, plus 1. So there's an invisible 1 floating here. We just don't always write it, which means the slope is simply 1, which means the 2 slopes are equal. And there we go. So look, I went pretty fast and I just barely got done. Now, you also have to recognize that I'm giving explanations and I'm drawing all this stuff out very carefully. You can definitely go faster than this, but there's not a lot of time for this test. It's fast, it's a lot of information, and you got to blaze through it. So let's now see how we did. Make sure I didn't make any silly mistakes. If I did, I will. Okay, so they're all correct. So that's it. That is the explanation for the quantitative reasoning section for test 1 from Test Innovators, or otherwise known as ISEEpracticetest.com. So make sure, if you're looking for the best resources for Middle Level ISEE, like a huge practice question bank of practice problems, I definitely recommend these guys as one of the best. I just think they do a great job. Also, in the description link below, you can get access to my course, and there's a 50% discount if you click on it for all my YouTube fans. So definitely check that out. And that also includes my video explanations of me teaching all these problems and the general subject matter, and then all these really good, carefully crafted practice problems, just like ISEEpracticetest.com. But I definitely recommend both of them. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please click that like button. Let me quickly take a look and see if we got any questions. All right. I do not, Ray, have a channel like this for English, unfortunately. Oh, you're very welcome for the SAT prep videos. Thank you so much. And that is it for our live stream. So like I said again, if you like this video, please click that like button. And if you want to see more from the Scalar Learning channel, make sure to subscribe. We've got, like I said, SAT coming out every Saturday and Sunday, ACT Mondays and Wednesdays, Middle Level ISEE. And last but not least, Fridays, we got minute study tips on the reg. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you all next time. Take it easy.